Hi everyone, how you doing? I haven't done a check-in in a while, so I just wanted to stop in, give an update on how things are going, and just fill you in with some things. So last time I went to the doctor, I was down to 276, which is still a loss, so I am very proud of that. Not as much as I would have liked to see, being that in the beginning I was losing a lot at once. But I do understand the longer you go in at it, the progress will slow down to what they had told me, about 4 pounds a week or so. So I get it. But that doesn't mean that I've lost motivation. I'm still exercising and eating right, doing what I got to do. When I had hit that 280, I did hit the point at Kaiser where I can move forward with the furthering to be able to achieve to get that surgery for the gastric bypass. I am doing the Roux-en-Y. Main reason is I do have really bad acid reflux, and the doctor recommended that that would be the best surgery, as it does seem to eliminate that acid reflux. Tomorrow, no, excuse me, Thursday is my appointment with the nurse. I've already done blood work, EKG, things of that nature to be ready for the surgery. On Thursday, I'll see the nurse. They give me a surgery date as well as a pre-op class you have to go to before the surgery. And then at that appointment, you get to kind of talk to the doctor and the nutritionist again. And then you have your surgery at that date that they give you from the nurse appointment. So things are looking really good. I'm excited. I can't believe that I'm doing so well and that this is really happening. And just staying motivated, having a great support system. My mom, my mother-in-law, my husband, my kids, everybody is cheering me on. And it's good to hear, because even some of my mom's best friends, she tells me that, like, they're so excited when they call and they want to know where I'm at and, how things are going. And so it's good to hear that kind of thing. And so that just gives you a bonus of motivation, an extra motivation. And so that kind of is where I'm at. I'm excited and I can't wait for Thursday to get here. It'll be here before I know it. And I'm just super excited about it. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait. This is my baby Wally. Wally, say hi. This is my baby. He's shy. He don't want to talk. He don't want to be on camera. But, that's that. I would say sometimes there are struggles because, let's be honest, we're all human. We all have struggles. So I can't sit here and say, like, oh, it's so perfect. Like, oh, it's such a breeze. It's so easy. How many times have I told you guys? I didn't get this size because it's easy. So I have 3 kids, twins and my daughter. And I do splurge and let them get them chips and things of that nature. And, I'll buy my daughter a bag of Reese's, or her favorite. And sometimes it's hard to sit here and watch them enjoy things that you used to eat with them. And so when I see them and I'm having that urge, sometimes it does mean getting something to drink and just enjoy that. Maybe instead of having water, I'll have my Crystal Light or my Gatorade Zero. Something with a little more flavor that I'm going to enjoy. I don't give in to the urge and the temptation, because I don't feel I'm at a point in this journey to be able to say, I could just have a little taste and be okay. Because the thing is, again, I didn't get to be this size because I could take a little taste of something. So yeah. It is nice that I'm noticing that my clothes are fitting me a little different, maybe a little better, I should say. They're not so snug. As well as just some personal things I've noticed, like taking a shower, just shaving and bending down and all that is easier. Um, I'm not struggling and so much that I'm just like, oh, why do I am even doing this? Um, so yeah, that's all great. And the other thing, like, sorry if it's TMI, but I just like being open with you guys. And, maybe there's somebody out there watching this who's going through the same thing as me, but I have been big my entire life. I don't know how many times I'm going to tell you guys that. I'll repeat it over and over and over again because you never know when a new listener is listening, tuned in. And so, growing up, when I got to the age to be able to be in puberty, I had my first menstrual cycle, and then I didn't have a second one for a year. And then after I had that second one, I didn't have another. The only time that I had one between there and where I'm at today is at one time I went on metformin because doctors told me I had PCOS. So they put me on metformin because they said that would help at least regulate being able to have a menstrual cycle. Because the importance for a woman to have one is it does produce things that help protect us from cervical or breast cancer, uterine cancer. So, that was my understanding being told by doctors. Um, or on birth control, because there was a couple times that doctors told me, well, let's at least put you on birth control because that'd help. Because I didn't like the metformin because I don't have blood sugar problems, and I was worried, like, if I'm taking something that's to control your blood sugar, would that not cause your body to end up building up a dependency on that medication, and it would like kind of quit producing it on its own to keep it under control. So I didn't like that. So that's why we switched to the birth control. I didn't like being on the birth control because all women out there know you gain some weight, and I didn't like that because I was already a big girl. So for the majority of my life, I've just kind of dealt with not having one at all, which, me and my husband will be married 10 years, and we have always wanted to have a baby. We've always wanted to have a family. And so that is why we adopted our 3 children, because the desire to want to have a family, was very passionate to us. We felt that that was the way God was leading us, and helped God, led us in that direction to build our family. And so we love our children to death. They're the greatest things that have ever happened to us. But with this process, with the weight I've lost thus far, I have started having a period. And about a year ago, my doctor, my OBGYN, did tell me that after a whole bunch of blood work they had done and whatnot, and just with history of notes that other doctors that I had made, that according to those tests and what they could look back and see, that I do not have PCOS, that my body just wasn't producing the hormones for me to be able to have a menstrual cycle. And the way the doctor explained it is, it's not just from being overweight, that people who are too skinny, this happens to them too, like gymnasts, athletes, just people who are extremely skinny. So it's not just because I'm fat that I don't have a period, because I know people who are larger than me who have menstrual cycles and who do have babies. But the way she put it, I love her to death, because great doctor. She tries to make you feel good, even though you're not getting best news. The way she put it was that the reason my body wouldn't produce the hormones is because the body itself felt that it would not survive through pregnancy and childbirth so it would not produce the hormones so that way it could not become pregnant. And I will say, with losing the weight I've lost thus far, which to me is very small in comparison of where my end goal is, that it's crazy to think just losing that much weight, this is happening. And, maybe if I would have listened to some of those doctors who I thought were just being mean when they said, you just need to lose weight. You're big, you need to lose weight. If I would have listened to them then, maybe, things would be different. But again, that's that near, not here nor there. Um, God leads us in the path and direction sometimes that we need to be in. And, I'm very thankful for the children I have. If I wouldn't have had this issue and I was able to have children, I wouldn't have these wonderful children. I do believe that in my heart. So I know this is the path that God wanted us on, to be able to provide a home to them, but for them to open lights and doors for us as well, me and my husband. Um, so yes, but we'll see where path takes us. After having a gastric bypass, they do recommend that you not get pregnant for at least 2 years, not to even try for 2 years, which, in the spectrum that if in 2 years after the surgery I could have a baby seems so like such a short time in comparison to me and my husband been married 10 years. Like, I've waited 10 years. What's 2 more years to have to wait if that's what we choose to do and to try to have a baby? Um, so that being said, it's almost like almost like, wow, maybe this is a possibility. Um, I will give you guys another update at the end of the week when, after my nurse appointment, just kind of fill everybody in when my surgery will be, and how that's going to happen. When I did go to the support group, I did run into somebody that I know that, she's a great woman. She worked with my husband for many years. And so it's kind of nice that she's in this program too, because sometimes it's nice to have someone going through it at the same exact time as you. My mother and my father both have had gastric bypass. My mom had to have it twice because there were complications with her sleeve, as far as being able to hold food down. She really wasn't able to eat anything at all. There were even some soft things like applesauce and whatnot. She couldn't even hold that down. So they ended up going in and doing a revision and giving her the full Roux-en-Y, which she does seem to, it is much better than it used to be. But so they're good support because they've been through it. So I don't want to discredit them at all, because my mom's been through it twice. So who better to get advice from, or when I'm feeling down, I always have my mom. And it's not like I talk to this gal a whole lot, but occasionally we'll send each other a message, just cheering each other on, letting each other know where we're at, and, ultimately just letting each other know, like, we can do this. Like, we're strong women. We can do this. So that's nice to be able to just have somebody to do that with. I'm sure if my mom could have had somebody right there at that very same time, she would have. Men are a little different, so maybe my dad wouldn't have. But, as women, it's nice to have that somebody who, as women, we can be a little more emotional and fragile, and we just want a gentle shoulder to lean on, not, somebody who's like, well, you did it to yourself. You made the choice to have this, because unfortunately, those are some of the things my mom had to hear from some of my siblings. And as I was telling her when she shared this with me, that we do make the choice to do this and to have this surgery. And you know what? A little bit of suffering of getting sick and tired of drinking nothing but liquid for so many days and getting sick and tired of eating applesauce and pudding and jello for so many days. And, you have to work these stages. You can't skip ahead because then that can lead into its own kind of complications. And so, for people to even say that to her is absolutely ridiculous in my mind because my mother had lost an extreme amount of weight before she ever had this surgery, and she was been having a lot of heart problems at that time. And the type of heart problem she has, the doctor wouldn't give her no medication for to correct. It's kind of like she just had to wait around, and they do tell her like it could cause her to pass away early in life, which is extremely sad to me because my mom is my best friend. She's the person I call probably about 150 to 200 times a day. And Lord forbid she not answer the phone because then I'm going to be dialing, dialing, dialing until she answers. Because that's my mom and I love her. And, you know, if I want to talk to her, I want to talk to her. And so to hear people was saying that to her and she didn't have the full support that, in my opinion, would have been necessary. Sometimes people just need to say, like, I know it's hard, but you can do this. I know you're sick and tired of those liquids in the broth, but you got this. You only have a few more days. You got this. In total, to get back to a solid food, it takes 47 days after surgery. I don't have the exact number of how many days each stage is, but I remember there's 5 stages in total, and I remember on day 47, you go into stage 5. And stage 5 is the rest of your life stage. Those are the foods you want to stick with. You don't want to veer off those tracks because you get what they call dumping syndrome if you eat something you're not supposed to. High fat, sugary. You get this terrible, terrible thing that they call dumping syndrome that I couldn't imagine why anybody would want to endure it because you hear dumping syndrome, you're probably thinking, oh, the bathroom. Well, it's more than just going to the bathroom. How about hot sweats, dizziness? A person could pass out because of it, because of the way the body reacts to it. So it's definitely not nothing that I would want to endure. But sometimes you eat something not knowing that's about to do it to you because maybe you didn't realize it had as much sugar in it as, you thought, oh, it's just a little. Sometimes my mom loves baking, and I remember a time she just had licked her finger. There was a little bit of frosting on her finger, and she licked her finger, and it made her so deathly ill that, I couldn't believe something that tiny had done this to her. But it's an eye opener. Watching my parents have both gone through it, it really is a learning experience to know, like, I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to be in that seat. Um, Even with all the terrible things my mom endured with her first surgery, it did not scare me from wanting to have this surgery now, um, because I see how much it's bettered their life. My dad used to be diabetic, it has reversed his diabetes. Um, my mom isn't having as many heart issues as far as, there was the problem with her heart has to do with the valves that go from the lungs to the heart. And so she would have a lot of problems breathing, catching her breath. She was having to use an inhaler. She'd not be able to catch her breath so bad that it would be inducing vomiting. And now that she's lost a good amount of weight, um, my mom is down to about like 130 pounds now. And although she's shorter, so they would like to see her maybe lose 5 more pounds, or, you know, 5 to 10 is what I think it is. They would like her to lose a bit more. But she looks great. She's feeling great. You know, why wouldn't I want to better myself? I'm still young. Both my parents did it Now that their children are adults, they have grandchildren, they're just now have had this done. My mom is getting ready to celebrate her 2-year anniversary from the surgery. And I think this year my dad celebrates his 3rd-year anniversary from the surgery. I'll be 31 in a few days. And I don't want to wait until my kids are having grandchildren from me before I decide I'm going to get myself in order. I want to be in shape now. I want to enjoy my kids now. I want to make memories with my kids now. I want all that. Some people ask me, because I have a sister who is older, meaner, nastier, if, I'm going to throw it in her face when I've lost all the weight. And I'm going to be honest, my sister, I could care less about her. She's a mean and nasty person. She will be her entire life. And that kind of person is poisonous. If you ever heard of one bad apple can spoil the bunch, you better be careful, because if that apple is in your bunch, she's going to spoil it. I when I lose this weight, I could go the rest of my life with her not knowing I've lost the weight. I could go the rest of my life still not talking to her. I could go the rest of my life not caring that she even know where I am in my life. And it is harsh to hear or have someone say. Some of you must be thinking like, well, that's your sister. If you knew my sister, she's been mean, and I will be 31 in a few days. And she has been mean and nasty to me my entire life. And at what point do you say enough's enough? People say when a man abuses a woman or a woman's abusing a man, you're in a relationship, get out of that relationship. It's toxic. Get out. Well, she's my sister, but it was a toxic relationship. She's verbally abusive. In my almost 31 years of life, my sister is the only person who ever made me feel any sort of way for being heavy. I had plenty of friends in school who were great people. My parents loved me, my family loved me. My sister made sure that I knew I was nothing but, and you fill in the blank. Because if it had to do with being fat and she could put a curse word with it, she was. And still to this day, I'm sure she does. And you know what? That's the life she chooses to live. I pray for her that God can open her heart and accept him, and that she can change her life, and that, she can find peace with the things that bother her and make her the way she is. I pray for her because she also has a couple of children that, she could be a gentler person to teach them to be gentle. They're teenagers, and every time they come to visit my mom, I feel bad because all my mom wants to do is enjoy them and love them. But I think sometimes it's a little hard when you're getting yelled at, but that don't even matter to my mom, because she still loves them and she looks forward to them coming and visiting her. And, I'm glad my mom has that kind of love, that she endures those kind of things because she loves them. That's all I can say about it. Like, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to endure somebody verbally abusing a person and stick around, especially not myself, not my children, and not my husband. I won't do it. I refuse. So yes, that being said, I do have 3 brothers, and I love my brothers. They're crazy guys. My husband works with my brother Robbie, and I love when I call my husband and talk to him, and my brother Robbie, like he's talking to. And sometimes my husband will say something and my brother will be like, "Shut up, fool. I've known her my whole life. You've only known her for X amount of years." So that always cracks me up, but I love having those conversations. My baby brother Timothy, he's a great guy. He's very supportive in what I'm doing. My brother Robbie's very supportive too. He is a bit on the heavy side too, but he does tell me, like, "Sister, I could not do that. I like eating. I don't want to give up my food." So it's like, and I tell him, like, to each their own. It's each person's own personal choice on how they want to live their life. And, if Robbie wants to enjoy his food, as he puts it, then that's his prerogative. He should not feel bad for that. And anyone who wants to make him feel bad, shame on you. Because that's the life he chooses to live. I choose this. He chooses that. We all walk our own path. So if you have someone in your life and you're trying to get healthy, don't force it upon them. That's not going to help them, and it'll definitely never get them there. They'll always be looking to try to eat behind your back because they don't want you to know, they don't want you to be mad at them. So, that's that. But Timothy, being the youngest, he's a great guy. He's fit. He's not overweight or anything. He has a wonderful young lady that, one day he'll marry. My kids love her to death. We all love her. My mom loves her. My parents. I think we all love her. She's a sweetheart, and it's exciting to know that she'll be part of our family one day. And, I assume that her family loves my brother Timothy as much because he's a very sweet kid, very lovable. So, and he treats her very well. He treats her right, a way a young man should treat a woman. So that's very nice. Yeah. And then my brother Max, he just kind of keeps to himself. He does his own thing. He has a daughter. He's just trying to work, pay bills, and get through life, But if you needed him, he would be there for you. So that's always nice. So, but that's kind of like my dynamic of my family. I'm one of 5 kids. Got my mom and my dad. Um, my grandparents are still alive in Southern California. I live in Northern California. They're great people as well. I love them to death, very supportive. My grandfather will be celebrating his 80th birthday this month, and I'm hoping the surgery will either be soon enough that I'll have enough time in being recovered to be able to travel down there to be a part of his 80th birthday. But if not, I know that it will be, people will understand why I'm not there, because I am making a decision to do something to better my life. And I am proud that to be able to say that I have a family that's very supportive and understanding about that. They don't hold it over my head that I may not be there. Because there's a chance that I could have surgery the week of his birthday, and then I'm not going to want to travel that far in the car 2 or 3 days after I had surgery. That would just, in my mind, I could not imagine it happening, below my mind. I would feel I'd be in too much pain. After my mom had her second surgery, I was there taking care of her, and I remember it was just a couple days after her surgery, and my brother Max called and asked if we could please go pick up his daughter. And so my mom and me got in the car, and we drove over to the school, and I just remember, out of the peripheral of my vision, any little thing in the car, like, you're going over the roads, they're not like as smooth as you'd want them to be. And every little thing, I just saw my mom grabbing her stomach and just like, oof. It was painful to have to watch my mom have to endure that. It was painful to watch. So I don't want to put myself in a predicament if I'm not ready to travel. But hopefully I can either have the surgery after or enough time before that I can feel well enough to be able to travel in the vehicle that far. Um, my friend who's doing it with me, she got her surgery day, and she messaged me today telling me that she's having the surgery on the 17th. So, I do know that, like I said, there's the pre-op class, the one last class I have to attend after the nurse appointment. But maybe possibly I'd be able to get that done next week and then have a surgery date that follows right after that. But I really don't know because I don't know how far out their scheduling is and whatnot. So I don't want to get my hopes up. Um, some of you may be thinking, well, if I'm wanting to go to this party for my grandfather, couldn't I just ask for a different surgery day? I absolutely could. I could. Don't get me wrong. And as much as I want to be there for my grandpa's birthday, I really want this surgery too. And the sooner I get it done, to me, the better. And so I really want to just get it done. Whatever the first surgery day they offer, I'm taking it. I'm not declining it. And that's hard to even think or say because my mom is the person I really wanted to help take care of me after my surgery. And making this decision also means that I've made the decision that my mom might not be here to help me. And I love my mother in law to death. She's a great support person. And she has said that if my mom can't be here, she'd be more than willing to take the time off work to be here to help me with what needs to be helped with. So that would be great. But I was telling my mother-in-law that when I'm sick or hurt, my mom has dealt with me for almost 31 years. And I can sometimes be a baby. And when you're feeling that way, there's nobody in this world who's going to make you feel better the way your mom can make you feel. And for those of you who are out there who watch this video, who your mom has passed away, I am sorry because that's a day I don't look forward to in life. My mom lost her mom first before her father. And I know to this day, my mom still has tons of heartache over her losing her mom. And I know there's times when she's not feeling good or she just wishes she could have her mom there to help take care of her or just have that voice over the phone to say, Sherry, everything's going to be okay. So with the decision I made, there's a chance my mom might not be the person to be able to help take care of me. But like I did say, I'm lucky enough to have a wonderful mother-in-law who definitely will do a great job. I just won't be a big old baby about it. I'll definitely step up to the plate and be stronger and stick, just not be a baby. That's all I can say is it's harder to ask somebody for something when they know you as a strong woman who can do anything. Not that my mom don't know I'm a strong woman who could do anything. She just also knows that sometimes I just like being a big baby and I want my mom to take care of me. I love you, Mom. Well, I've probably chatted your guys' ears off tonight as I look up at the timer here and see that it's been almost 35 minutes. And so I'll go ahead and end here tonight, but please feel free to leave comments below. Please let me know the things you would like to see, or if you'd like to see some meal preps, how I do my food. Again, I mainly just work out on my elliptical over here. That's my main form of exercise. Sometimes I go out and walk the block. But right now, the elliptical is, I do that 3 times a day for 30 minutes, 7 days a week. But if there's anything you have questions on, comments, concerns, please drop a line below. I'll be glad to read your comment, answer it, do a video on it, whatever be necessary. I always want to remind people this is our journey, nobody else's. A great support team will always lift you up and not bring you down. Stay positive. When you feel like you've hit a wall, the wall's there to let you know you can break through it, not to stop you in your tracks. Have a great night, lovely day, whenever this may be that you're watching. And feel free to subscribe. Would love those viewers. Bye.